So our Liga MX is back. We're going to kick it off with game 1, round 1, Friday, July 18th. Puebla at home against my team, Atlas. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think a lot of games in round 1, I think they're going to be pretty boring. I think we're going to see a lot of draws. Scores can always be unexpected, but if there's one thing I can already tell you that it's not profitable is going over and then going draw. Trying to get both right is just something that I find it. You guys can go back and check. It's something that clearly just hasn't been profitable. So I think I'm definitely going to lay off trying to do both, because that more often than not it fails more than it actually hits. So if you have sometimes debates between would you want to take an over or a draw, pick one, because trying to take both of them is just not going to hit a lot of the time. So the result that I think is going to be for this game, both of these teams were struggling a lot to win games, and I think they had a load of draws. So I think this first game is going to be boring. I think every single team is not going to come out guns blazing, if I'm being honest, and especially not these two teams. I know Puebla at home usually has been high scoring. That wasn't exactly the case too much last season, but the season before that, man, that the over in Puebla was just printing money. But at least for this game, I like the draw in the first half. I think we're going to see a very boring 45 minutes. And at the end of 90, I still think we're going to see a draw. At most 1-1 if we're lucky. The total is kind of indicating that, especially being at 2. You don't see too many at 2. You're mostly going to see 2.5s and 3s. But first game of the season and the total's 2. I think that tells me more than likely we're going to see, I think, a draw. I personally think a 1-1 draw, because even at 2, I still find it hard this is going to be 0-0. Second game for Friday, round 1. Juarez at home, America coming in. Total at 2.5. Okay, guys, there's one thing I've noticed. America has played this Juarez team for the first game of the season maybe 2 times out of the last 3 seasons. None of those times have been good for America, and I don't think it's going to go good for them this time either. I think they are not going to get shut out. I will say that. But I think this America team is not going to be, not that they're on their way down. There's really not too many signs of downtrends, but they're going to have some changes. And I think a team can only be good for so long, guys. I think this season for America, I think it's not going to be as good as the last 3 or 4. I think this one is going to be a little more towards the downtrend. For me, the value lies on Juarez. Juarez is a small market team, but they are also a team that did pretty damn good last season, especially after having so many horrible ones. And I think they can have another good one, at least be right around, at least fighting for an 8th place spot in the playoffs. I think that's where this Juarez team can end up, and I think we're getting really good value on Juarez here. I'm going to take Juarez or draw on the double chance, and I think if Juarez does win this, if Juarez does lose this, if Juarez loses this, I think it's going to be by a good margin, enough to get us over that 2.5. So I'm going to go ahead and play the over, especially since I'm going to tell you guys again, over still stays profitable. Even in this last season that just ended, the over was way more profitable. The over was profitable by a good amount compared to the over, and I'm going back to it. So I'll take my over at plus money. I do like the double chance too. I think that's where the value lies. But if Juarez is going to lose this, I think it's going to lose by a good amount. Final game for the night, we got Tijuana and Queretaro. Tijuana at home, and again, you guys, that's kind of how it is at that home field advantage. Tijuana, in my opinion, completely overpriced. I'm priced out of it. I saw this line move from maybe 160 all the way up to minus 176. So a lot of money coming on Tijuana, but Tijuana is just constantly overpriced, guys. I think I finally figured it out, maybe after traveling to Tijuana recently, and it's a small market team, but man, it's just one of those teams that probably have just a lot more money coming in, being that close to the U.S., being right on the border. So I think that's kind of why, at least in my opinion, That's kind of why they're overpriced sometimes too, because Tijuana is not exactly the most talented. At least they haven't shown it in the last couple of seasons. They haven't really won as much games the last couple of seasons. So why this team continues to be overpriced, I think it's just simply because of its location. Very, very, very diehard fan base. I will say that too. And then I think it's one of those fan bases that they just have money flowing in on their team. Hey, respect to it, I guess. So as far as this game, I think it has the makings of being an over 2.5 game easy. Out of the first 3 games of the season, especially today, I think this is the one I have the most confidence in, at least for hitting the over. I do think Tijuana is the up and down the better team, but the only good price I can find for it is to take Tijuana in the first half. But a lot of games in Liga MX end up usually being a draw in the first half, so it's a little nerve wracking, but I can deal with it, especially at plus 110, because I'm not paying that minus 176. Let me know what you guys think of Friday's card. Let me know what you guys are playing on Friday's card. But that's all I got, especially to kick off first 3 games of the season. And I'll see you guys here for Saturday's games.